It is Thursday, and we're actually at the Fenton Groen kickoff event for his campaign. He is running to unseat Senator Silly here down in the Seacoast area, and I've just bumped into Jim Forsythe, who is also running for the state senate, but out of Senate District 2 and 4. Why do I always confuse the two? I apologize, Jim, but at least it put a grin on your face. And you are trying to unseat Kathy Sgambati.
Right.
And just a couple quick questions for you, if I might. One of the things that's going on today that happened is MaggieCare. Actually, it's un-MaggieCare at this point, because this big bill that was supposed to put 3 health czars in charge of pricing policies, basically think Nixon and Ford, and for those of us who are a little bit older, and price controls all over the place, has been tabled to a study committee. But my question to you, Jim, is that something that government should be participating in anyways? Should government be inserting itself into the marketplace in such a fashion?
So, question for healthcare. Well, first off, the cost controls commission that they're looking at. So cost controls traditionally, well, not traditionally, they always lead to either surpluses or shortages of the goods because you don't have the free market pricing mechanism. So it's definitely a failed policy. It's been tried over and over throughout history and always fails. So should the government be involved in the medical field in general? The answer is really no. Certainly at the federal level, there's under the Constitution, it's not one of the granted powers of the federal government. So it should be left to the states. At the state level, I would favor a free market approach. If you actually look at the increases in cost over the decades that we have in healthcare, the problem came around through the involvement of HMOs in the 70s. There was also wage and price controls during World War II and after World War II that led to companies starting to give, because they wanted to give more pay to attract workers, so they did it through healthcare because there was a loophole that gave them a tax credit for that. So all this government involvement is what's led to the high prices that we have today, and it's caused the problem. So we definitely need to move more back in the direction of a free market to get prices under control.
Okay. That leads into the question of du jour of what the Republicans have been saying in D.C. and where Senator Jeb Bradley introduced an amendment to that now tabled act of the individual mandate. Does government have the right, does it have the power to force somebody to participate in an economic activity in which otherwise they would decide not to?
Well, they certainly don't have that right. And government doesn't have rights in general. They have powers that we've granted to them under their Constitution, but they don't have any rights. So no, they don't. And I was very happy to see Jeb Bradley's bill go forward. I sent out a press release actually yesterday morning predicting that the Democrats would vote along party lines to vote against it, and they did. It was 10-14, so all the Republican senators voted for the amendment, and the Democrats voted against it. And I think that really is going to be a defining issue in 2010. The Republicans are saying no, the government can't force people to buy health care, or insurance, I should say. And the Democrats are going along with it. And actually, Kathy Sgambati's comments were really amazing, where she said, yes, we believe in freedom, ... But we're trying to get everybody covered here under insurance. So she believes in freedom, but she's willing to take it away from us.
So she has
what's for our own collective good.
Yeah, so she has a real big but
yeah.
in that particular stream of consciousness.
Yes.
So basically, do you see the current makeup of the Senate as being anti-freedom, anti-liberty, and more towards the collective, the common good?
Absolutely. It's more towards the notion of we can make your life better for you by government edict, either through cost controls or forcing you to buy insurance for your own good, forcing you to wear a helmet, forcing you to wear a seatbelt. All these different things is trying to make a utopia by force rather than allowing the free market, which is the best way to distribute goods and services. It's the best way for people to be happy because all exchanges are then voluntary. So that's what we need to move back towards, and the Senate makeup right now is very antithetical to that. So we need to change the composition. We're going to do that in 2010.
Okay. And one last thing, because the other topic that is of great importance right now is the budget and the lack of money. I think Fenton already talked about that right now with a structural problem of $500 million, $500 million. What do you think, if you were made king for the day, even though you are running for a democratically elected position, but how would you go about solving this problem?
solving the budget crisis.
Yes.
Well, in the Senate, there's certainly things they could have done that they're not doing. And then the House had a bill where they voted in committee, I think it was $47 million or so of budget cuts. And then on the House floor, they decided to vote against that because they said the Senate's not going to approve this anyway. So we're rapidly losing all options to make any meaningful cuts in both the Senate and the House. In fact, I think we've kind of lost all options at this point. So now they're looking strictly at additional revenue. The LLC tax, for example, they have a bill to repeal that until it's under bills passed, but they're putting in their increased taxes on insurance and on Seabrook. So they're painting themselves into a corner where they have no other option than to increase revenue once again. Either that or it's left to the governor to make cuts through the executive branch.
Okay, well, very good. Jim, thank you very much for your time. I know there's some other people who want to talk with you. Hopefully we'll run into each other again. It's a long time till November.
Sure, and I just want to say I'm happy to be here supporting Fenton. He's an awesome candidate for state senate, and we really need to get him in there and replace Jackie Sullivan.
Very good. Thank you.